Hi class, I will be doing another lesson from 50 Social Studies Strategies for K through 8 classroom teaching, and I will be picking establishing a democratic classroom. Now, I will start. They don't have the standards like the science book does, so I looked up under the CDE standards, Common Core standards, under second grade, that standard 4 of the social studies in civics. Civics teaches the complexity of the origin, structure and functions of the government, the rights, roles and responsibilities of ethical citizenship, the importance of law and the skills necessary to participate in all levels of government. Under 1, responsible community members advocate for their ideas, part A and C, and also number 2, people use multiple ways to resolve conflicts or differences. Under A, C and D are my content standards. My content objectives for this lesson would be to empower students by creating a vision for the classroom that reflects a democratic classroom. And also to read the Pledge of Allegiance and discuss how it applies to our classroom and to real-world situations. My skill objectives is to establish or write out a vision. How would you as a class wish to be treated? How do you see yourselves being treated? That kind of deal. My materials and resources will be the Pledge of Allegiance Social Studies book and a whiteboard and markers. To engage, I would talk to the class about not having rules. My class that I'm teaching in at the moment, they don't have necessarily rules, they have a vision. And it really excites them that they don't have any rules in the classroom and that this vision is what they have made and what encapsulates them. So we would talk about what a vision is and how it applies to us. We'll demonstrate how as individuals and as a class we wish to be treated. We would talk about what is a democratic classroom and what is a democratic country. Show examples of previous visions. That's how we're going to start with the engagement. Democracy, would be talking about democracy in that sense. What is a democratic classroom? How democracy is the right of the individual. So how do each individual and their differences fit into our classroom and also in real world situations, and how does that all connect? To explore this further, we would read the Pledge of Allegiance and go through what a vision is. We explain meanings like pledge, which is promise, and vision, how we see ourselves. This is what the Pledge of Allegiance means. So this book is really good at explaining all the key concepts of demonstrating and acknowledging what a democratic classroom is, what a vision is, what the Pledge of Allegiance is, and how we promise as individuals to be loyal to the vision that we see for ourselves. So under Explore, after we've read the Pledge of Allegiance, we've explained the key concepts, we're going to use the morning pledge to explain how we promise as loyal citizens to be respectful and to connect to our community and world situations. We acknowledge that each student brings in different skills and knowledge into the classroom and talk about how do we respect those differences. We reread different parts about promise and loyalty and how that works with us as individuals and as a classroom. To explain further, we talk to the class about when they feel their best, at home, at school, at grandma's, different situations out in the community, and why they feel that way. What kind of behaviour are they usually demonstrating? We talk about positives, I can statements, and what this means in correlation to the vision. We revisit past examples of a vision, so we're constantly going to have an old vision there just so that they can see, they can visualize it themselves and see what we're working with. So we're going to revisit past examples of vision and have the students brainstorm as a group how they envision their classroom for the upcoming year. To elaborate, we'll do a whip around. So each person will say what they wish to have in the classroom and what they want to put in their vision. Then we'll talk to partner, we'll do partner talk, and about how they feel is the most important message from our brainstorming. What is the most important message to them as individuals and for our classroom? So once we've discussed this with a friend or with a partner, we're going to come back into the group and discuss the important points and how do we put those important points together so we're not having a list of like a zillion different types of visions. So we're going to read through the list together to make sure nothing is forgotten, group some things so it's much more tight, like it, so the vision is understandable just like the Pledge of Allegiance and has the most important parts in it. To evaluate, we're going to produce a finished copy of the vision, sign it as a class and read through aloud the vision for our class. We're going to discuss how this could be used in our lives outside of school, and we will read the vision every day after the pledge to remind ourselves the positive ways of celebrating our classroom. So that is our lesson of becoming a democratic classroom. We want to involve everyone, so that's why I'm using different ways, whip-arounds, partner discussion, just brainstorming, because it is a democratic, and that is another example of inclusion and having everyone discuss what they wish for a democratic classroom. Differentiating strategies would be the usuals, using visual, kinesthetic and audio support, socially having interaction between the teacher, the class and also partners. The extension I was using, you could do it democracy as the right of the individual and make our own visions and decorate and illustrate it. So we've got a class vision, but we could also have our own vision. Our pre-assessments, what do we know about democratic classrooms? So what do we know as rights of the individual? What do we, when we talk about a democratic classroom, what do we mean? Our formative, which each phase of the process of creating the vision, you know, recapping, what do we know? What do we want to learn more of? The summative would be the participation and understanding of a democratic classroom. And then the post-assessment was, what is a vision? What have we created? Have a class discussion about what is a democratic classroom. So refocusing on our skill and our content objective, which is understanding what a democratic classroom is and explaining it. And what is a vision? What have we created? Why are we creating this? That would be our post-assessment. And that is pretty much it. Thank you.